Now I'm aiming for heaven, but probably wind up down in hell, where upon this altar I will hang my guilt-ridden head. But it's time I'll take before I begin. 3 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind. Yeah, it's time I'll take before I begin. 3 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind. Rebels are we, though heavy our hearts shall always be. Ah, no ball or chain, no prison shall keep. We're the rebels of the Sacred Heart. I said no ball or chain, no prison shall keep. We're the rebels of the Sacred Heart.
So I got into playing rugby because there was a flyer that was sent out to my house in the summer before I got to Sacred Heart, informing me that I didn't have to know the sport of rugby before I got into it, and that there was a preseason the week before moving. I played 2 sports in high school. I was a football player and wrestler, and I just wanted to compete at another level. I wanted to take the challenge to learn a new sport, and rugby gave me the platform to do so. I am a hooker on the rugby pitch, so per position, like you can't be, like a wide receiver in football and pick your number. Whatever position you are on the rugby team, that's what number you take. So I wear number 2, and that's what I do. The rugby team was started by a bunch of ex-Division I athletes, football players, lacrosse players, soccer players, you name it. Mostly, yeah, I said lacrosse. But anyway, apparently, alright, the story I heard was essentially that, people did not like how Division I sports were acting, a lot of poor team chemistry, maybe some troublemakers here and there. But, they just didn't like it, and they wanted to still compete, and they still wanted to hit people. So, what better way to do that than to form a rugby team? And that's exactly what they did. The term X-Men basically comes from the fact that they're ex-athletes, ex-lacrosse players, ex-football players, not the comic book X-Men. It's the biggest misconception that the rugby team has. We chose the colors black and white because the school originally did not give us funding, partially because of some of the kids on the original team were troublemakers, and if the school wasn't going to give us money, then why should we wear their colors? It was to the point where if you wanted to play rugby, you bought everything by yourself, which is kind of how it happens today, But, today we've been so successful that, the school's been giving us a lot more. We've had training staff every day. It's just the things we need, and I think with the success of the team and where it's going, we're going to progressively get more funding out of the school because we've been a powerhouse the past 3.5 years. This Iron Cross represents 4 things. There's 4 arms to the cross. There's brotherhood, strength, solidarity, and reliance. And you need to take all these things into account when you're walking out the field. Brotherhood. Your relationship between your teammates. Key. Solidarity. One goal. You want to be good? Yeah, let's be good. There's one goal through your brotherhood. Strength. The mental and physical persistence you need and the stamina you need to get through a game. Because there's going to be times where, it's in the heat of the moment and you have to make a decision. You need to be mentally prepared. This is one of the toughest sports in the world. is the toughest sport, in my opinion. You need to be, your body needs to be physically in check. I mean, you gotta be strong. Strength. Reliance. You have guys running at you from all angles. You need your brother, your teammate, to be with you. You have to rely on your teammates to be with you, to support you, to trust what they're saying, because communication is a major point of rugby. You know, you're looking at the defender right in front of you, and you're not going to be able to see your teammate, but you can hear him. So you trust that he's there. You rely on him, get a good pass off, and you know the play's successful. Surreal. Honestly, it feels like it didn't even happen. Like I said before, the main reason why I wanted to come and play rugby is I wanted to compete. And the fact that I was able to get together with a group of guys who, you know, had the same goals as I did, who wanted to play, who had a desire to learn, and just the sheer fact that, you know, every single guy wearing that same jersey as I was willing to put themselves on the line for their teammate, and that's just something you don't mess around with, and it's a really good feeling. It's kind of like my freshman year. We came in, we were 1-7. None of us knew the game, but we all challenged each other every day to try to become better. And one of the biggest things my original coach talked to us about was, you know, you may not be the best rugby team, but, you know, you'll be the best conditioned. Like, whoever's going to be able to keep standing at the end of the 80 minutes will win the game. Whoever can still run will win the game. And, you know, going into such an environment and a game like rugby, having those guys be able to, you know, withstand that with you is, it's hard not to say we weren't going to win. My biggest concern is that, you know, because a lot of kids on this team didn't lose, never had a losing record, I'm afraid they don't know what it takes to get there, because they've started at a higher level than I did. You know, I went 1-7 freshman year. Sophomore year, 7-2. We lost against Fairfield University, 72-10. Semifinals for the conference championship, we lost against Vassar. I can't remember the score of that. Year after that, 5-3. We lost against NJIT, Seton Hall, and then Malloy, also in the conference semifinals. You know, so the past 2 years, and last year, 8-0 in the conference. The only game we lost was in South Carolina against a powerhouse Furman University. So you do the math, not including the championship in South Carolina. That's 4 games we lost. Or 5, excuse me. 7-2 and then 5-3. It's 5 games we lost in a span of 3 years. That's absurd. You know? First of all, I think it's really cool that, one, we did set the X-Men record for the best season my sophomore year at 7-2, and I was able to go back and beat it my senior year at 8-0. But if you don't know where you're coming from, then the team has an opportunity to fall off. But it's a matter of our players asking themselves, what do you want to be? You know, if you're open to compete and you want to win, then join rugby. But you got to be willing to learn, and you got to be willing to make yourself a better person first, teammate second, every day. And that's just being a regular person and being an athlete.